Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
We have to write a song for.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
Ghana Cocoa.
the thing is, the melody in that song it just seeps into your brain. You can't forget it. I mean, Reggie Rockstone has done something for Ghana's Cocoa.
Yeah.
His rap, you know. But the melody, you know, as they say, it is a hook that sells a song.
Yeah.
And the hook in the coffee song, you know,
it's serious. Yeah.
So which of the songs did you personally take to heart? Because I tell you, up till mother at 84 is so in love with Wayaya. And you know,
that's my favorite too.
He has a solemn feel to it, the way it starts. And then you hear the in the background.
The bass line. Just very Ghanaian, you know. It's that fusion that makes it. And you know, apart from the three Ghanaians, Teddy Osei, Sola, Matthew McTonto, they had a Nigerian baritone player, Lofty Mao. He also lived in Kumasi with Teddy.
From Kumasi to London.
And they met in London. So he became part of the band, you know. And then they brought in Wendell, who's like a classic rock guitarist.
Wendell Richardson.
And then Robert Bailey, he's the proper serious musician on keyboards. You know, he also joined.
He plays operatic music and all that.
Yes, he plays, you know, everything. He reads music and everything. So that combination, they call them the Beautiful Seven. That combination created that sound. But of course, the horns of Teddy, McTonto, and Lofty, they were so powerful. That's why any time you hear those tips, pam, pam, ba-da-da-da.
Oh man!
Only Ghanaians can do that.
Oh man!
And it brings the band, you know, into alive.
You know, I also use Sunshine Day as my sick tune.
Yeah.
When I was a co-owner of Sunshine Radio.
Okay.
So when I started Sunshine Day as my morning show, that was my sick tune.
Yeah.
Everybody do what you do. So bring a Sunshine Day. Oh man, who did those arrangements?
Teddy did arrangements in music in London, I think, Royal School of Music. So most of the arrangements, you know, Teddy is very, very key when it comes to arranging the songs, you know. And he's very, very good. Even when you are with Teddy at the studio, where he conducts it, you know, make sure all the right fields are at the right place, you know, and try this, try that. No, this is, you know, that's Teddy for you, you know. And when he finishes, you go home and listen to the song and come back and put in some little bits to make the song, you know.
Is it fair to say then that Teddy Osei is not just one of the great architects of what we now call world music, but also one of the great architects of Ghanaian music?
Yes, because he started from Ghana. I remember growing up, I heard this song. I didn't know it was Teddy, you know. The chorus is, Apete no gudo, apete no gudo, no gudo, no gudo, apete. And this was a big hit. You know, so Teddy started the high life thing from Ghana, and he always talks about high life. Osibisa's song Right Now, it's a high life song. You know, people say everything is alright. What we say, things could be better. Things could be better. All we need is some understanding, some understanding. Right now, right now. Right now, yeah.
Oh boy!
And this is a high life song, and he always introduced it as a high life song, high life from Ghana, and people love it.
And there's a song of his which gets to be played every time we welcome visitors. It's an Akwaba song. Welcome home.
Welcome home.
Now, Your younger brother, Kwame Yabua, his rendition of Welcome Home is out of this world.
Yes. Yes.
And I haven't heard your rendition.
No, I haven't done my rendition
as well.
Yes.
Tell me about that song, the structure of the song, the genre of the song, the lyrics in the song.
Yes. I think that song was inspired by Sola Mafio. And Welcome Home is for all Africans to come back home. And whenever you come home, you should be welcomed. And this song speaks about when we leave our country, the gap we leave there. You know, the home becomes empty if everybody leaves. So when you come back, you are welcome home to take your place. And the way they put it together, you've been gone, it's an empty home. Come back where you really belong. You are always welcome.
It feels like a song that's bringing back the prodigal son.
With the prodigal son, then.
That's a Ghana for a coverage. Find a prodigal son.
No, but I think it's more addressing the totality, basically, holistic thing about Africanness and the Pan-African thing, and people of African descent. Because if you look at the band and those who were in the band at the time, Caribbeans, Nigerians.
And who could be Sikasa? Yes, I'm born mobile. It's almost a sign you know,
and we've used it for a lot of things. Even Ghana, how we've benefited from it. If you look at all the big state things that we do, national events, it's always there. Especially when our friends, our brothers and sisters from the diaspora come back home. These are kind of songs that we use in welcoming them. So we were talking about world music, which was defined by Osibisa in a particular moment between 1969 and the 1970s, when even racism and all those things were part of our system. Now, it's gone down. You realize that they did a lot. They gave a lot of impact to music from Africa and the Caribbean. Although Teddy was a bit sad, he said when his brothers from the Caribbean decided to leave the band. But later on they found out that they were wrong and started coming back. He still, maintains the fact that yes, we want people, we want destiny. And that we should always work together as a people. And as much as you're from Africa, whether you like it or not, you're a Caribbean or whatever, in the Americas or wherever, once you're a black man, you're from Africa.
There's an interesting way Malcolm X puts it, and now that we talk about Pan-Africanism, let me throw it in here. He says, if a hen lays eggs whilst trapped in an oven, you don't call them biscuits. They still hatch to become chickens. So if you're from African heritage and your ancestors go and birth you in another place, it doesn't make you a biscuit, or it doesn't make you a person of that soil. You are still African. Yeah. So, I look at the Caribbean and I say, well, our African brothers and sisters, like you say too, and I feel very strongly that that connection must be made even stronger. And, I found it weird that we even called all these different genres of music emanating from Africa and the diaspora as world music, because reggae is reggae. Reggae is not world music. R&B is R&B. Rock is rock.
But I think he defined it as a point in time when he spoke about crisscross rhythms.
Yeah. Crisscross rhythms.
Yes. Yeah. He said at that time, it was basically like a time. If you look at history, world music came, Afro rock, which the European hosts, presenters, disc jockeys called Osibisa's music Afro rock. Afro rock, yeah, that's what I'm coming right. So there were times, generations passed, and then they were just redefining them, and so they brought the Afro rock bit, and then when they brought crisscross rhythms, it changed the whole dimension, because that is what is originally from them. From Osibisa, from Teddy, from Saul, from all the others, Mark, so then they had it defined. So they had their own name. It's more like decolonizing. Decolonizing. That's what they did. That's
so the thing is that you want to own your creation. You don't want somebody's nomenclature to define your creation.
Basically,
because right now I think there's a phenomenon going on, and I find it kind of funny. you hear a lot of high life, and now we call it Afrobeat. It's high life. High life is high life. You know, the Afrobeat I know as a child, which Fela Ransom and Nicola Pokuti fronted, was bang, 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 bang. Tobaboni Shakara Pade.
But do you know Fela also learned from them? Because Teddy attested to that in the 60s when he came by to really sit with them. You know, and whilst they were going on tours, they met him and he started trying to learn a few things from them.
But that's with art. There is no way you can be with another artist and if you are smart, not pick something from them. It's just the way it is. Some learn by osmosis, some learn by immersion.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And some learn through apprenticeship.
Yeah.
You know, I think the ones who do not want to say, I copy from you, want to learn by osmosis. So they sit with you and they suck your energy.
But all you have to do is to just pay homage to the person.
Exactly. And that's where I do not understand why people say, oh, no, I brought this new style. If you're playing somebody's songs, you're playing somebody's songs. Mm-hmm. If you play Imagine right now by John Lennon and his group, and you play it in another key, I can tell it's Imagine.
Yeah.
So you might as well just say this song was inspired by John Lennon. Mm-hmm. And simple as that. Now, I want to come to your stage performances. When you would go on stage, what was the ritual? What do you guys... Musicians, you all can't ritual.
But the other thing that you need to ask your question is the fact that they normally would record and things. So it wasn't so common to do that live recordings.
Yeah.
You might want to talk about that.
I want to talk about the ritual first. You want to be a presenter for a minute? You see, for those who do not know, George is a lecturer in film and television. Yeah. So he feels that. But George, we have in Yakitra. So, sir.
And that's his days.
Oh my God. So tell me about the ritual, because, you know, I think people have structure.
Yeah.
A lot of people think creatives are just, we flow like water.
Yeah.
But there is the structure too. So I want to understand the structure and the ritual of Osibisa before you go on stage.
Okay. So we get there, we get to the dressing room, you know, everybody hang their costumes, you know, and costumes is a major thing for Osibisa. We wear our African, the best garments. That's what we think we wear. You know, so it's hung. And then maybe about 45 minutes to the time, everybody will dress up, then we'll sit down. And then over the years, one person becomes, you know, the younger guy. You write the list. So I do the list and I'll show it to Teddy. Teddy is fine. And then before we go, we have to sing.
Now, when you're writing the list based on what Teddy has told you before, or based on what you've played at the last concert?
Yeah, I mean, we have a set of lists. So I will do that list, and Teddy will look at it and say it's okay. But he will skip some or bring some to the front as, you know, the crowd, when he looks at the audience.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then we will sing for everybody to open their lungs.
Give me a song you would sing.
We will sing, yeah.
Wow.
I say, we are going, heaven knows where we are going. We know within that we will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. Well, we know well. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will.
Wow.
And once we sing, then sometimes we will sing, there's a song that the ending, I'm trying to remember the song. There's a harmony and everybody will hold their notes, and then, you know, it will be really, really nice. And by that time, everybody is charged, you know, and then we will hold.
By that time, everybody is charged.
Oh, in fact, one funny thing, Osibisa group doesn't drink that much. They will
You mean
drink
that
to
much?
eat,
That much?
drink to eat, and that's it. You know. I remember. I'll tell you a story. We went to Turkey.
When a musician says, "I'll tell you a story,"
Yeah,
you sit up
in the
right.
dressing room. We went to. We used to play at Turkey. There's a nice place by the beach, and only families come to. If you
In
don't-
Turkey,
Turkey.
around the Bosphorus.
Yes. If you don't, they're not married, you can't come.
Why?
Yes, for families.
Oh, okay.
You know. And our dressing room, the decoration, the drinks, everything, the food, that the dressing
That's
room.
part of the hospitality for you guys.
Yes. And so I said to Mark, it was around Christmas time. I said, Mark, Charlie, today, after the gate, we will drink. And Mark said, yeah, we will drink, we will drink. So we finished the show. So I poured a little brandy. I can't drink too much of but I just wanted, you know. I said, Mark, here is the drink. So I'm coming. Then Mark called Potato. Your small brother, he doesn't know I don't drink. Oh. Charlie, you see Mark on stage.
Yeah.
He's never drank alcohol
Interesting.
before. And I said, hey, Mark, Charlie, so you can fool us. So all these things on stage.
You didn't know. You know, he told, I think it was during Banzalai.
Banzalai, yeah.
Oh, you know, Mark was the boisterous one.
Yeah.
And then he says, he likes the way I speak. And the way I speak,
Yes.
do I take something before I speak? I said, I've never drank in my life. He said, same here.
Yes, exactly.
So where do we get our energy from?
Exactly. It's a natural energy.
God.
It's a natural high. It just comes. I say kung fu. You get possessed and you do it.
Yeah.
You know. And these are some of the things. But when we go on stage, another thing Osibisa does is, you see the black face and the white teeth.
Yeah.
That's the happiness. So when somebody sees, as I always see you smile, you show your teeth. I say, wow, this is the Osibisa thing.
That's right.
So we play and we'll go. You think we are happy?
No, it's part of the look.
And people love it. They see black face with white teeth showing, and we go, you know, beating the drums and going. And this is an act that only Africans, you know. And blacks feel it. Every black you mentioned Jamaican, they all come in and they feel the blackness that we do in Africa, and they know, no, it's natural to them. They haven't done it before, but they feel it and they join in.
George, I mean, you're into media and culture. You know, every culture gives something to the world. I think in years gone by, because of colonization and slavery, one culture decided to suppress everything that the African culture gave to the world. But now we're beginning to find that, oh, we did this, we did that. You know, now the lines are coming out that even this Christianity and everything you're talking about, you know, original scrolls written by black people, you know, and now changed by some Europeans. Isn't it time for the brave amongst us to own what we have created and promote it so the world should know?
I think it's something that in terms of academia, people are doing that because of the decolonization of our minds, and even in terms of the...
And decolonization of intellectual material.
That's exactly what I'm going to talk about in terms of text and all that. And so a lot of people are writing. What we need to do more as media houses is so for us to give them the platform to talk about it. You know, so some intellectual did something somewhere, published it somewhere, so it's just among the intellectual community. But then if you give them the platform to come and sit here, for instance, to talk about it, then people will go and go search for it, instead of always being on our phones and looking at things that are very, you know, not really promoting our cause. So we need to look at it from that angle. Give them the platform, let them come out there and come and talk about it, and then people get to know about it. That's the first thing. The other thing is that for us to say, no, there are some people who are very conscious and own their trade, own whatever they did, like Osibisa we are talking about today.
Exactly.
And they started that not now, in the 70s, because we were at the top from 1971 up to 1980, that whole decade.
That's right.
You know, and we're doing a lot of things, even in the 80s, after when he had joined them. So it was the same thing. And what did they use? They used their stage performances. Aside the fact that they were topping charts, the stage performances around the world. Where didn't they go to? Australia, or which part of the world that they didn't go to? You know, Italy. I remember you were telling me about that Italy one where that millionaire who always wants you to come to do a party, big party. You know, and we're telling us so many. I had so many stories from them. Even Ivo, Kofi used to talk about. He's alive and he's in Amsterdam.
Yes.
You know, so
whenever Kofi comes to town, let me know.
You know, so they were telling us the stories about places that they've gone to and how they've got that kind of how do you call it? A following that is more like that cult system where
it's a cult following, of course.
You know, so they come. And they
come with their own groupies.
Yes, that kind of
their
thing.
own groupies.
You know, especially in Australia.
Yeah.
You know, the stories from Australia is really, really so I'm thinking that there are some people who knew what they were doing and were precise and concise about it and intentional about it and held their own within that space. Although there was racism and all those kind of things. And Osibisa is one of them. Mark
they broke barriers for black musicians.
Yes.
The other thing that they did too was that they thought that the next generation should also follow. Even him, when we decided that we have to go to the universities and educate them about the journey of Osibisa. Yes. We started from Lagos and then went to Winneba, and then went to Cape Coast. You know, and Teddy was there. Teddy and Saul, the two of them were there to talk to students and show them. And they had concerts as well. Even at that time when they were a bit old at that time. Yeah. This is like 12, 13 years ago. Yeah. You know, and they were there. Why? Because they want to transfer that knowledge to the next generation. They said maybe the manner in which they did it was different. But at least it gives you an idea of the fact that you can also break through.
Well, the manner and the time, you know, affect the difference because, I mean, they face racism.
Yeah.
You know, now if there is racism, it's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
But the point is, if it's that bad, there are strong Africans who can stand and fight. Yeah, so we live in a different time. And you know,
and I also want to talk about the contribution again when Mark, for instance, came to Ghana. Yeah. You know, when he was here. Every time you go to South, young musicians ready to learn from him. You know, he had an ensemble.
Mentees and proteges.
You know, and so he had an ensemble. You know. And then, besides that, he had this band, Warriors, who were part of the band Alive thing.
That's right.
You know, with Imatonto, who's in your band at the moment.
Yeah.
You know, and then the guitarist, Kwachi, I've forgotten the guy's name. He's a very good guitarist.
Band Alive is where we discovered Johnny Hughes.
Yeah, Johnny Hughes too.
He's now a broadcaster.
You know, and so Mark's influence too as well was so much when he came back here. Because I think he was doing things for GTA and the rest. And the other thing that they also did was to always remember Ghana. So once in a while they come here to do their shows and that kind of thing. And even I believe what Mark told me about the fact that they had some seed money for the building of the National Theatre. You know, so they did a lot for us as Ghanaians and projecting the blackness and Africanness out there. And also came back home to give back to the society. So,
a musician can lift the name of his country up.
Definitely.
Yes.
Look at the way Michael Jackson was honored by Ronald Reagan.
Yes.
Look at the way Bob Marley was honored in his country, Jamaica, and the way he's uplifted reggae music. He's not the first reggae musician. There were many before him. You know, but what Bob Marley has done for reggae music and done for Jamaica by extension, Osibisa has done great for Ghana.
And Africa.
And deserve, well, and all of Africa, of course, and deserve to be honored in the right way. Now Teddy is gone. How do you want him to be remembered? How do you want him to be celebrated by Ghanaians?
Okay, me, for a passing, I thought at a point in time, somewhere 7 years or so ago, we did some honoring of the band as a whole with the EMY Africa Awards.
Exclusive Man of the Year Awards.
Yeah, there's Exclusive Man. I'm the vice president of the faculty. So we did that. But I think we could do more. Today that is left, I think we should dedicate like a month playing songs from Osibisa, you know, and also telling the story.
Have we determined in what month his funeral is going to be first and foremost?
Yeah.
Which month is it going to be?
The funeral. The funeral is happening this weekend.
Okay, so we must say that we must dedicate the month of April to Teddy Osei and Osibisa in all our media throughout Ghana.
Yes.
And every musician who performs must perform at least 3 songs by Osibisa.
Yeah.
This does not have to come from a minister.
Yeah.
It must come from us who work in an enterprise that he has paved the way for all of us to benefit from. Because music and media go hand in hand.
Yeah.
They're like horse and carriage.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel very proud of Teddy Osei and all of Osibisa. And I'm very happy to say that on the day he was honored by the Ghana Music Awards, I was the master of ceremonies that introduced him, and I introduced him properly.
Yeah.
So I am so proud of him. But I also want to come to Teddy's family, because there's something I look at in Ghana and that saddens me. And I want to start with, say, DK Poison, and go back to, say, Tete Kwashi, and now look at Azuma Nelson, and then come to look at Abedi Pele, and then go back and look at Theodosia Oku, and then look at Ephraim Amu, and look at people who we acknowledge to be legends and icons of our motherland Ghana. What exactly does the nation do for them and their family?
And that's a big question, you know, because those things.
Because if Tete Kwashi actually brought cocoa to Ghana, shouldn't there be a foundation that looks after or makes sure that some honor and some money goes to Tete Kwashi and his descendants?
And his family.
And if Maktonto and his senior brother and Solo Amafio, so his senior brother Teddy Osei and Solo Amafio, have been able to form a group that has taken the name of Ghana all around the world like
for 50
this.
years, yeah?
Can't we have a plinth on which these people are mounted so that the whole world can see Osibisa?
Yeah, because what you're talking about is true, but normally we want to look at the state to do some of these things. But I think we as private people should also initiate that. Like, for instance, today I'm sitting here.
That's what I'm initiating.
Yeah, so I'm sitting here talking about Teddy. And I got interest in Teddy because my father brought an LP. And then later I met him through him. You know, why am I here? I'm here because I feel we should honor this.
Yeah, but that's where.
And so we can start it from here. We can start it from here.
And go to the corporate bodies
to see how
and find a space where we'll create the plinth and put them
some kind of hall of fame where we could place them there, that the history will not be lost. It's not about just even going to open a book or go onto your phone or anything of that sort. You can just walk in there and say, okay, this is a space that is meant for legends like this. You know, and then the history is told over there. So all the things we are talking about now will not be said just on television. But when you walk through that hall, all the stories will be told. You know, just like we've done for Kwame Nkrumah, any other person.
Some names come to mind that you think deserve to be honored just like Teddy Osei?
Yes, I mean, in Ghana, you know, we have Ephraim Amu, I think, like Konimo.
Eja Konimo, he's still alive.
Yeah,
so let's celebrate him, give him his flowers whilst he's still alive. Because we already lost on Yontufo Hinin and Akwame Ampedi.
Exactly, yeah, you know, and I mean, E.T. Mensah.
Oh, E.T. Mensah's Temples Band.
Yes.
And one of my favorites, King Bruce.
Oh,
yeah.
King
Do you remember?
Yes.
Mita Makeboake. Miss Mwabotamoshe. Mike Akemi Wujatabo Mimpo. Ikebo Babeke. Oh my God.
CK Man.
CK Man. Papa Yankson.
Yes.
You know, so we need to create some kind of hall of fame for them. I mean, we don't have to wait for somebody else to come and do it. Sure. We as creatives should sit down and plan all these things and get it done.
Yeah.
We don't, you and
I have been talking about this for over 8 years, but you and I cannot, out of our own resources, do this. And that is why sometimes the state agencies, I'm not talking of the ministry, beneath the ministries, there are the departments and agencies who we pay to come and lead. Why can't the departments and agencies do these things? Is it because they do not know?
No, because but the departments and agencies are struggling. For
why
instance,
are they struggling?
For instance,
do you know how much money has been wasted over the last 12 years on projects that are just totally useless?
Let me talk about something. You see, a kind of institution like the Creative Arts Agency should be taking up this. Now, the Creative Arts Agency, as we speak today, do not even have an office. So, if you call Gideon Aikwe and ask him about what is happening.
Now, Gideon has only just been appointed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that because...
When was the Creative Arts Agency set up? No, let's go into it.
Yeah,
I want specifics.
That's 2021.
2021?
Yeah, after the 2020 election.
And who led it?
It's Jankoma.
Oh, that's where the president appointed his daughter.
Yeah. So I'm saying that even that, they didn't have a place to basically set up their office. And so...
Look at him squirming. And so he's squirming.
and so they had to go to languages to borrow a small space to be. And then after the government went out of power, they ejected them. So
the Creative Arts Agency, if you ask me, as an intellectual, not as a politician.
Why are you a politician now?
Me, I've always been a politician.
I never knew.
I just don't have a party card. But I cannot, I do not condone stupidity in government. I hold a pin that I take to the arrogance of the balloons of fools when they are appointed. And it gets on my nerves because some people are appointed today, tomorrow they want to be worshipped when they have no knowledge. And this is something we must talk about in Ghana.
I remember you saying that as soon as they become politicians, they think they're more intelligent than us. Although when we're in school with them, we're better than them.
That is a preko, I kind of lipstick. Still a preko. So this is something that we need to talk about. I think this whole Creative Arts Agency, we don't have the funding for it. Create 2 desks for it at the Ghana Tourism Authority. You see, we create too many generals when we don't have horses to give them. If you're going to create a general, you better have a horse to give the general. So you give people too many titles, big ones, to lead agencies, pay them salaries, and there are no outcomes. And some of the companies that we have in Ghana today, you have CEOs taking big salaries, and the companies make no profit. So that from the CEO to the last person in the company are liability on the taxpayer. Maybe...
But the desk you're talking about, they've tried it before they work. Because
it should work if you put competent people, not nepotism there.
No, even the film, the National Film Authority thing, before it came into being, we had desk. But you see, the truth is that the bigger ministry, if you have a desk there, and you're not generating that money, they'll push you aside. So you're talking about tourism. So we should to go under tourism. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Because it is not tourism, it is culture and tourism. All creativity is culture.
Yeah, it's culture, yeah.
All creativity is culture.
Yeah,
you and I know that. We've had these conversations for over 12 years. And at this point when we are supposed to be the ones telling others how it is done, as opposed to people who have no exposure coming to be in positions and then coming to converse and they're looking for somebody to call them honorable. Honorable, my derriere. So really, what do we do now?
I think we should
honor the name of Ted Yosei and the likes of him.
We should come together as creatives and, like I said, try and build that kind of foundation that we could start something, even if it's small, even if you're honoring one person a day, a year. It doesn't really matter. The most important thing we get to
George, what bothers me is something I've just witnessed when I was in the U.S. Over the last 3 years, every time I've gone to the U.S., I go to this museum of Black history and culture. And do you know that this Museum of Black History and Culture is mainly founded by people from Israel? So I ask myself, where are the rich black entrepreneurs? Where are the rich black sportsmen? Where are the rich black innovators? Where are the rich black owners of patents and copyright? If we want to do something like this, George, I don't want us to go begging another nation and going from embassy to look for the money. If it is clear that people can get tax rebates for donations to foundations, then we must find people like us, amongst us, to be able to pay for it.
Yeah, but there are people who had also tried doing something that I want to give them that kind of acknowledgement. Somebody like Kofi Amakohene, who did a lot for Osibisa when they were coming back here. And then you can look at the plus 233 Dr. Odoy, who's
but
also
look at
and then you can,
yeah.
Yes. Then we can look at there's a third person. My line of thought gone off because he mentioned that there's a third person. And then of course our own brother Richard Prempe, who actually even did this documentary on Teddy. And within that period, I think between 2013 onwards and all the time that the Osibisa and Teddy and the rest were coming to Ghana, they were doing a lot of stuff for them, and that's the kind of thinking that if we could bring all these people together.
And I honor my brother Kwame Prempe because he himself was in music.
Yes.
Because he was with the Dark Blues, with Intema.
Yeah. That's the Blackness man.
Sweet Gloria, we'll sing your song.
Me a go brabo bese mete. Minka kana war sama. Me kra me kakaya. Efisi madan punyaye. Obi a war sam, obi nkebio. Nesu yer kani akende. Manku ma brabo. Me yedeni o, me yedeni. Manku ma brabo. Me yedeni o, me yedeni. But you know, some people are also saying because they donated money to the National Theatre, it should be nameless or Osibisa Theatre or
I second that. I second
and
that.
this is something we're going to push.
George,
we may have to start.
I'm the senior brother. You need to write the document.
We need to advocate for that.
No, you write the document, and then I'll read through it and edit it.
But you brought me back
we
to...
will present.
You brought me back
Yes.
You write it, I'll read through and edit it. He will present it.
I hear you. But you brought me back to the Tema days, when El Paso.
El Paso.
El Paso.
You know when you came to Tema through El Paso?
Oh, yeah.
Auntie Gloria is his auntie.
Interesting.
Yes.
I didn't know you were family.
And so he came to play
we were family. Yeah,
he came to play for that band because of the auntie. One, two, and Zuri. And it was a big band in Tema.
Yeah.
The afternoon jams and all those kind of things.
Tema too has provided big bands.
Tema is the cultural hub of Ghana.
Yes.
Yes.
Because look, A.B. Crensis, J. Dublé Ambule,
Sweet Talks,
Otis Boedi, Jam Movement.
Yes.
Tema is the cultural hub.
Joe Mensa.
Oh, Joe Mensa.
Asabia Proper.
Tema is some, and one of the baddest bassists.
Yes,
Asabia's brother.
Eugene.
The guy could play.
The Kente man.
You know, Wamaya, you remember the bass?
Yes.
Wamaya, so I mean, there are a lot of things that happen that we need to acknowledge, including the Sweet Talk band with A.B.
And if you bring Tema to the modern time, R2B, Sarkodie,
so there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to be done. And let me also say that Auntie Gloria is our own Kwekubaku's mother.
Of course.
Not a lot of people know about that. So we need to do something about this. And I'm saying that there are a lot of people who have that goodwill to do that for us. We need to just step out there.
Let's talk to a few banks and insurance companies.
Yeah, we can.
Talk to a few entrepreneurs. And let's see anybody who throws any big party and tell them to just give us 5% of their budget.
Yes.
That can help too.
Because we need to set up a little museum that would accommodate all these people.
I don't want to set up another museum.
You don't set up
We must use the National Museum because the National Museum is nearly empty.
Okay.
So we need to get a good curator. I served as a member, as a member of the Victoria and Albert Museum for 12 years. I need to go and renew my membership. No, more than 12 years. I think 18 years. And I looked at all the programs they're doing and how things are coming and going. And then I come to Ghana and I go to the museum and I'm like, what? People have come to Africa to take stuff from here to go and display in their museum. And we have nothing in our museum. And in the meantime, the Arts Center, which is where we display the commodification of our culture, looks like filth, whilst where we sell the things we import from other countries, Accra Mall, looks like a beautiful place. So it's either we have poor leadership in the culture sector or our priorities are seriously misplaced. What are we going to do about it?
The Arts Center itself is going down because of the think they're doing on the
marine, whatever.
The marine drive. So everybody just
who's going to own it?
Chrissy and I.
No, who's going to own it?
I don't know at the moment.
It's a national thing.
It's a national thing. And recently, when Idris Elba came to Ghana, I think there's some portion that's going to convert into the studios that he's going to build, which is good for us. You know, at least to attract good people to this country in terms of film, you know, to come and work here.
When we come back, we will talk about the impact of Teddy Osei's life and music on Ghana and the world right after this.
Excellent furnishing in the real estate business is a great deal for survival. My struggles as a young estate developer were cut short when I discovered Fernand Ghana. With quality furniture made from the finest woods and amazing after-sale service, Fernand Ghana changed my story with every single home I built. It's a one-stop shop that serves the interests of clients with a variety of living room and dining sets, solid wood kitchen installations, wardrobes, doors, cabinets, beds, pergolas, floor parquets, and many other wooden products that will last a lifetime. With Fernand Ghana, all clients are offered the opportunity to customize furniture to their specifications, and the smile on their faces says it all. Thanks to Fernand, now your home can look beautiful with furniture that would last for generations. Visit Fernand Ghana today and share my story. Locate us at Yaniba Estate, Osu, Accra, or call 0303-966-085 or 055-278-4097. Think wood, think Fernand.
Can make sure that she does it several times.
The discerning audience, the knowledgeable, the stylish, and the classy get together to enjoy Master of the Game. Master of the Game brings you distinguished personalities, leaders, achievers, captains of industry, innovators, masterful storytellers, creatives, and entertainers, all hosted by a Master of the Game.
His Royal Blackness, KKD,
the finest.
Catch Master of the Game on CTV. Oh yes, nuggets of inspiration and delightful treats for your enjoyment. Whether you love power, money, beauty, or fame, there is so much to learn from Master of the Game. Only in the place to be. The coolest channel, CTV.
Excellent furnishing in the real estate business is a great deal for survival. My struggles as a young estate developer were cut short when I discovered Fernand Ghana. With quality furniture made from the finest woods and amazing after-sale service, Fernand Ghana changed my story with every single home I built. It's a one-stop shop that serves the interests of clients with a variety of living room and dining sets, solid wood kitchen installations, wardrobes, doors, cabinets, beds, pergolas, floor parquets, and many other wooden products that will last a lifetime. With Fernand Ghana, all clients are offered the opportunity to customize furniture to their specifications, and the smile on their faces says it all. Thanks to Fernand, now your home can look beautiful with furniture that would last for generations. Visit Fernand Ghana today and share my story. Locate us at Yaniba Estate, Osu, Accra, or call 0303-966-085 or 055-278-4097. Think wood, think Fernand.
Once upon a time, people believed what others said, especially in the news. Not so simple anymore. Looking for the truth in the big news stories, eager to separate the wheat from the chaff, ready to ditch the propaganda and lies to get the facts? We've got you covered on Facts of the Week. Facts of the Week is the program that separates the real from the fake, the substance from the clutter, and the true clear voice from the deafening noise. Presented by the brainy, bold, and beautiful multiple award-winning news anchor, Valentina Oforefi. Facts of the Week is the authority. Every Friday evening from 6:30 to 7:30 right here on CTV, Ghana's #1. Also streaming on Facebook and YouTube at MyCTVGH. We find if we seek on Facts of the Week. Facts of the Week, your trusted source for verified news.
Hello, hardworking traders of Ghana. I've got terrific news for you. If you have goods to sell in a store, shop, market, or online, call Beautiful Betty or Handsome Kojo Asari on 0245-929-220. That's 0245-929-220, and we will help you sell faster to more customers. Customer. See and hear the adverts on CTV, Ghana's #1, and buy at good prices. CTV and all our radio networks across Ghana is helping traders connect to customers here, there, and everywhere. To sell your goods to more customers, call Beautiful Betty or Handsome Kojo on 0245-929-220. That's 0245-929-220. Class Media Group. We help traders sell to more customers.
It's party time. I'm watching them there. Ola Bawo. As I introduce to you, Safari Zoom Flex live on Ghana's #1. With Zoom Flex, you can join the fun wherever you find yourself. Dear Zuma, Ella, don't shake the body. But it's Friday. Of course, time is 10 p.m. sharp on Ghana's #1 with the man them DJ Last Week Official. We say Ola Bawo.
Give me the move, give me the vibe, give me the move, give me the vibe, give me the move, give me
CTV, Ghana's #1.
Evergreen memories. Wow. We can do those in front of him. Abra bafu for na parenting edi ono enkwada eba. We tira wan kono na me put am for say. Na ebi Paranche. We bonded as colleagues at the dining hall, the dormitories, classrooms. It's just say, but the question is, hey, now squad you were here, Olege were here, Floozy, any boys in here.
Master of the game in honor of the great world musician Teddy Osei, a man who taught us that the power of music can bring people together, unite, inspire, and excite. And with me, two gentlemen who know Teddy Osei, who worked with Teddy Osei, and who laughed at the jokes of Teddy Osei and also played or wrote with and for Teddy Osei. Mr. George Bosompim, lecturer and thought leader in media, new media, film, television, and culture, and the great president of the Musicians Union of Ghana, a masterful musician, a band leader, who also played with the band Osibisa, Mr. Bessa Simons. Now I want us to talk about the impact of this great Ghanaian who traveled the world to share his music and his craft, so that people will learn about the great sounds of Ghana and Africa and also embrace the music of Africa. What would you consider are the key influences, the legacy and impact of Teddy Osei?
Teddy Osei, that's huge because, see, for them to have span 50 years, half a decade. Half a century.
Half a century?
Yes. to celebrate 50 years in existence. Because I remember he telling me, look, so basically, I'm just saying that the timeless music, you know, they stayed on for 50 years, and not just that, they were grooming younger ones. The last time I spoke to him, I mean, the time that we were interviewing him for this documentary, that's 2012, that's about some 13 years ago. He was in Ghana, but the name of Osibisa was still touring. You understand? And even the opening of the Olympic Games in London, I was there. And Teddy was basically brought there in his wheelchair to perform. You know, with Alf and the rest.
Yeah.
You know. And so that timeless.
When you say Alf, you mean Alf Carey Bannerman?
Yes. You know, so timeless. The timeless music and the timeless. When you look at the group, they've basically lived beyond what we could consider as a normal duration for a group of that nature, because they bring in new people. He said that Osibisa is an institution, and when I die, it will still live on. That's his words.
And this is what every band should be like. So Wulomi must live on, Jaje Loy must live on.
Yes.
African Brothers Band must live on.
You know, so, and the music, we're still enjoying Osibisa music. When did they start? 1969.
Wow.
When did they get their first hit? 1971. And what times are we in? 2025.
And we're still playing the music.
So it's timeless. That's something that we have to remember.
Let me go to your brother for a minute.
I mean, Teddy he's the pioneer for Afro rock fusion. You know,
in fact, he created Afro rock fusion.
You know, a lot of people do it, but it doesn't get accepted. He managed to fuse like African rhythms and rock, you know, fusing African rhythms with African instruments and rock guitars, R&Bs, jazz, and it was well accepted because they did it so well. And this is what has impacted on all of us to do what we do now. You know, now this has led to Afrobeats. You know, Afrobeats cannot survive without high life. You know, without Osibisa's style, the fusion thing. And I think Teddy is the pioneer of this, and it is still going on, and it's going to live forever.
Yeah, besides that, even education and culture.
Education and culture?
Yes. You know, if you look at what we did when they were around, the 3 universities, they are not studying it. You know, so they've permeated the educational curriculum, and people are studying it. They're writing theses on them. You know, so you could see his impact beyond just now, but the future.
So Teddy Osei himself is actually a subject of study for the music business.
Yes.
I feel very strongly about how they took high life, a music genre of Ghana, and infused it in their Afro rock fusion. And by so doing, people who did not know much of high life now can hear high life and feel they already know that sound, and so embrace it.
Yes.
I feel so strongly about that.
And the inspiration that he gave to the younger folks, you know, telling them about their journey in these 3 universities. Really, really good.
If there is a hero to be honored, one that has died lately, definitely is Teddy Osei.
Yes.
He needs his national honors. And it's a shame we didn't give him his flowers while he was alive. I'm happy that it was in 2012 or so. I stood on stage when the Ghana Music Awards presented him with his Lifetime Achievement Award, and I announced for him to receive that. I'm very proud of that moment. I think we did right by him then, and this must inspire us to do right by everybody who has served this country well in every field of endeavor, be it in business, mining, engineering, you know, design and planning, you know, even politics, you know, which is actually defined as it's a construct where you present your selfish desires as the national interest.
Because there's one person too that I thought we should mention who did a lot of archiving on Osibisa, who just passed on, and I think we should acknowledge him. Dr. Kwesi Osu.
Oh, Dr. Kwesi.
He just passed on, He just passed on in London.
Where are all those records going to go to? Is he going to hand them to your university?
I don't know yet. That's the family issue. But I'm just saying that he did a lot of work on it.
Your university should buy the records.
So
your university should pay for the records.
You see, I'm not a VC.
Suggest it to the VC.
You know, I mean, we have tried. We have started something archiving of not just audio, but audio visuals. Which, I mean, we are going to do the new center for documentation at the university, not too far from here, so you can visit that. And we are starting with 400 pieces of VHS.
So for all of us who serve in culture, music, all of the arts, the creative sector, and tourism, we have a big funeral this weekend.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so we are, very excited about this weekend because it is going to have what we call a state funeral. The government has granted that we give him a state funeral at the forecourt of the State House this Friday from 7 to about 5 p.m. So
from 7 a.m.
Yes.
To 5 p.m.
Yes. He will have all the honors,
And Agofoma, Ketefo.
Yes.
Bobobo, Agbajafo,
yes, military
Bamayafo, because everybody in the creative arts, this is our funeral.
This is our funeral. And the good thing is that it gives us the hope that if you do things well, you will be honored by your nation. And this is what is going on this Friday. Then when we finish, the body will be taken to Kumasi Saturday at Chapatre. I hope I got the name right. Chapatre. On Saturday, they're going to have this big funeral in Kumasi. And then on Sunday, there will be the Thanksgiving service. So we will, after the state funeral celebration, I call it.
So the state event is Friday.
It's Friday.
For
the family and clan event is Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then Sunday, so state event Friday, forecourt of the State House.
Yes, right.
Saturday, Chapatre, but they're going to Kumasi for the funeral.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then where in Kumasi for the funeral? Where is it?
Chapatre.
And then Sunday, where are we going?
Chapatre
Sunday.
Yes.
So for the state funeral on Friday, what colors are we wearing?
We're wearing black.
Just black?
Black.
No
yes.
red, no white?
You can wear red or black.
Black or red?
Or red.
Or black and red?
Or black and red.
And Chapatre?
Chapatre will be black on Saturday and then black and white or white on Sunday.
And black and white or white on Sunday. Yes. So Kumasi is Saturday and Sunday, Chapatre. But the state event in honor of our dearly departed Teddy Osei is this Friday. And everybody in arts and culture, this is where we all gather. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
Mr. George Bosompim. Thank you very much, Mr. Bessa Simons. So as I sign off, let me tell you, Teddy Osei, the visionary musician and band leader of the iconic Osibisa, you embodied the very essence of Afro rock fusion. Like a master weaver, you intricately threaded together the vibrant rhythms of Africa, the psychedelic hues of the 60s and the funky beats of the 70s, creating a sonic tapestry that transcends borders and defies genre. You, a great Ghanaian, a great African, a great citizen of the world. Demrifadie, Teddy Osei. Demrifadie, Teddy Osei. Thank you very much for joining us on Master of the Game. See you on the next episode.